welcome to a new vlog. It is Monday and I'm not going to give you a weather report because I really need to get out of the habit of starting every vlog with a weather report. It's very hard for me to do that, but I think the outfit says it all. It's a very cozy feeling day today, and what I would really like to do this morning is put together, I feel like I've done a little bit of this already, but I want to do it properly, put together a bit of an autumn bucket list. There are so many lovely events and things happening in the Cotswolds over this season, and also things that you can obviously do anywhere in the country, and I think I've been hearing about so many different things, putting them in my diary, but also getting a little bit of FOMO and a little bit of overwhelm because there's so many weekend harvest festivals and special dining experiences and so much to do at this time of year when it comes to baking lovely things and finding lovely bits to add to your wardrobe. There's just so much to enjoy at this time of year. So I want to spend a little bit of time just putting together a bit of a list so that I can prioritize the things that I definitely don't want to miss out on this season, because I can't believe we're already halfway through September. That is absolutely mad to me. Time is flying by so quickly. So I'm going to grab a few magazines and we're going to sit on the sofa with the dogs and put together a bucket list. But first I'm going to head out into the herb garden and get a few herbs and make a lovely herbal tea. If you watched not the Norfolk vlog but the one before, you'll have seen how I went and did a day with Anne McIntyre, who's an amazing herbalist, and we were just saying in the office, is herbology a real word or is that a Harry Potter word? I don't know, but herbology being my new obsession, I'm drinking herbal teas non-stop now to get all of the goodness from them. So let's go and see what's growing and we'll put together a lovely pot of herbal tea. I've just remembered I had a delivery. The 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 getting eaten by butterflies saga continues, but I've placed an order. No one actually recommended these, I just found them online. Unfortunately it's upside down, but we'll have to use our imagination. It's basically like a netted umbrella that you put over your vegetables. So maybe later, if the sun comes out, we'll set these up, because I know that lots of you have the same problem, whether it's strawberries or your kale as well getting eaten by pests. So yeah, we'll get these out and see how they look later on. But for now, we're just after some herbs. I've just noticed this just inside the greenhouse. Sometimes Charlie buys things and pots them up and just leaves them in here for me, which is lovely. I'm presuming this is mint, but I'm gonna sniff the leaves. Ooh, yes, I think that's like a chocolate peppermint. Okay, definitely taking some of this for my tea. I just had to cut, nope, I was going to tell you what happened weather-wise while I was out cutting my herbs, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try not to mention the weather this entire vlog. So we'll skip past that. I've got the tea infusing for 15 minutes. Apparently that's what you need to do for herbs, except for really soft herbs like mint and lemon balm, because they'll infuse a little bit more quickly. Because I've got thyme and oregano and things in there, we're going to let that infuse a bit longer. So I've got 4 magazines here that we had out on the kitchen table. All of these we have got a subscription to, and I just love having a little potter through them. And I thought I would start with one that is probably the least likely that any of you guys watching will be subscribed to. It's the Countryside magazine that you get if you insure something, a vehicle or part of your house or anything, with NFU, which is the National Farmers Union, or I think you can just pay to have a subscription and be part of like the club, I don't know. But I thought this looked like a really lovely seasonal episode, so I thought we could have a little flick through. On the title it says Harvest, Recipes and Traditions to Treasure, and that's something that I love the sound of. I was thinking, however, this morning as I checked out online on H&M how I feel sometimes a little bit conflicted, because especially the last couple of years, and especially the last 6 months, I've become even more in tune with really leaning into nature and the benefits that we can get from nature, whether that's wearing barefoot shoes or making herbal teas to get medicine essentially from our garden, and that's all very wholesome and lovely. But then the other 50% of my personality is still very, I want to go shopping, I want to have the latest gilet from Varley or whatever, you know, I'm still very materialistic. And yet, I don't know, I feel sometimes quite like my personality is literally split in two. One half of me wants to just get rid of everything that I own and only wear natural fabrics and become literally an earth mother, and then the other half of me wants to go shopping. So I'd love to know if anyone else can relate to that. Maybe it's just a phase, maybe life is all about that balance and you can enjoy both things at the same time. But it does feel it feels very black and white, very yin and yang. And does that come across in the videos? I feel like it possibly does, the fact that there are just two very opposing kind of messages in the things that I'm passionate about. Or maybe it's fine and I'm overthinking it. That's just a bit of food for thought this morning. Anyway, I think we need to get cozy. I'm not going to light the fire because it's actually quite warm in here, especially with the 𝑭𝒂𝒕 on. But let's go and take these over to the sofa. I give it 30 seconds maximum before 2 sausage dogs come and join me. So that sounds perfect. Dexy has already got out of bed. Are you going to come and join me, baby? Hello, my big boy. This is what I love about this magazine. It's just so wholesome. They are running an award for the best farm shop in the UK, but there are a few different categories. There's independent or local shop, small farm shops, large farm shops, delicatessens, and other specialist retailers such as bakers, butchers, or cheesemongers. And I'm sure that lots of you have got a favourite, so I'm actually going to leave the link down below. Let's all nominate our favourite farm shop. I don't know what they win, maybe just recognition in the Countryside magazine. And there's also an article here about homegrown wine. And actually, when we went to the new Italian restaurant in our nearest town, I had a wine that was created in Gloucester, which is the county that borders where we live, and it was delicious. It used to be just Kent and really southern counties that could produce good wine in the UK, but apparently Gloucester is in the running now. Wow, this is sad. Apparently more than 200 UK pubs closed in the first part of this year as part of a worrying trend which industry bosses fear could accelerate further. Gotta support our local pubs. As predicted, I have now been joined by both sausages, and I found the article that I was looking for to help me plan out my autumnal bucket list, and this one is very much focused on British food, which I love the sound of. So there's one recipe here which is basically a sausage and apple roll. I've never tried making my own sausage rolls, but whenever I've seen anyone else doing it, that is very smelly breath. That is really stinky, but I don't mind. We've just done that. Unfortunately, I Do Love trend on Dexter and Dickens' Instagram account, and one of them, is it Unfortunately I Do Love or Unfortunately I Do? Unfortunately I Do smell very bad, but my mummy really likes it. Let me know if you have any things like that for your doggies. They're really stinky, but honestly it's not like an offensive smell. It's quite like a cozy, I don't know, I love it. But I'm very strange and love my dogs more than most people. Yes. Anyway, I digress. I would love to try making my own sausage rolls with puff pastry. I'm not going to make my own pastry. I think that's too much effort, but it seems like quite an easy thing to do to make a good quality sausage roll, and how nice to just have them in your fridge ready to snack on whenever you get a little bit hungry. And then something else that I've never tried making before is a harvest chutney. We've got so many apples, and also in the orchard opposite our house we've got plums and damsons. The hedgerows are full of things. So making a chutney, I think it's just everything boiled together with a little bit of brown sugar, and how nice over like a ploughman's sandwich or something. So there's 2 foodie things to add to my autumn bucket list of things to make. Maybe not all in this vlog. I'll try making the sausage rolls tomorrow. But the chutney I might wait until further into the harvest season. And there's also a few ideas here on ways to celebrate the harvest season. Obviously this is quite countryside focused, but if you're planning a trip out of the city, if you live in London or Manchester or another city, to the countryside, then you could plan something like this into your trip. It's saying how lots of big National Trust properties actually invite volunteers, not just National Trust, a few different properties and farms invite volunteers to come and help them with the harvest. And again, London, oh here, London one, londonfarmsandgardens.org, they have a harvest festival for city farms and community gardens. That's really fun. But I think taking part in a harvest would be a really fun thing to add to a very wholesome autumn bucket list. Just had to change my battery and I've got the tea. This smells amazing. I think thanks to the new mint that Charlie got, it does actually smell a bit chocolatey. It's the amazing thing about mint is that there are so many varieties. Still way too hot though. Now I don't want these all to be food focused, so we'll move on in a second, but I've just seen this article about hedgehog loaves. I love hedgehogs and I love bread, so I feel like hedgehog shaped bread would be such a fun thing to make. We've got friends coming over next weekend and I think having a harvest themed supper would be a really, really nice idea. So that seems like a great excuse to make these. I say we're having friends coming over. I think the boys are going to be watching football the whole afternoon, so it might be a case of having to do like covering the kitchen island in snacky food. So the sausage rolls and the hedgehog loaves could be perfect. But anyway, let's carry on browsing. We've got 3 things on the bucket list so far. Obviously making a crumble. They've got a recipe here for a blackberry apple and pear with sticky toffee sauce, but I feel like that's too obvious, so I'm not going to add making a crumble because I do that anyway. There's a big what's on this month section in this magazine, and a lot of these we kind of cherry pick the really, really good ones and we put them in our newsletter. Again, it is a little bit Cotswold focused, but I know that lots of you come down to the Cotswolds for a weekend or a little short break, so it's definitely worth checking out. We call it our perennial planner in the newsletter. By the time you're watching this, you should still be able to get tickets for Daylesford's first craft fair. That sounds like it's going to be really, really fun. So many amazing small local businesses, but cherry picked by Carol Bamford, so you know they're going to be incredible. And it's at Heritage House, so it's going to be basically the bougiest craft fair that any of us have ever been to. That I think is next weekend, but oh, and we have got a discount code for that, so I'll leave all the info for that down below in case you didn't spot it in the newsletter. Ooh, the World Conquer Championships are going to be happening in Northampton on the 12th of October. I want to actually sit next to your mother. Okay, I thought I would just put the rest of the bucket list together and then chat it through with you instead of going through every magazine article one by one. So I've just put the list together on my phone, but I will put it all into ChatGPT and make a lovely graphic, which I'll pop on the screen here, and you can screenshot it if you want to. So extra things that I've added to my personal autumn bucket list, and I've not included the obvious ones like making a pumpkin spice latte or cook a Sunday roast, because we do those things anyway, and I've also already done them, so they've been ticked off the list. Visit a new National Trust or English Heritage garden. I love gardens at this time of year, especially places that have got really beautiful woodland and trees. It's nice to get inspiration and see how other people are creating structure and interest in their gardens at this time of year. And often you get lovely days where it's clear blue skies, but there's a little chill in the air, so perfect for spending time outside, lots of layers, and it's just beautiful to be out in nature. Next one is to make sticky cinnamon buns. I just need to buy some proper yeast and baking powder, because in the past I've tried making them and they've just never really risen properly. So I'm going to do some research into the best flour. Also, if you guys have tried any particular brand of flour that's worked well for cinnamon buns, please let me know, because I'm determined for this year to be the year that I actually am able to make them successfully. Then I've written make an autumnal garland. I've actually written garden, but I meant garland, and wreath. So we've already done the hydrangea wreath, that was a couple of weeks ago, and that has dried out really, really nicely. But I want to do something a bit more interesting. Maybe tomorrow on the way back from the gym, I'll take my secateurs out, grab some oak leaves with acorns in, little branches with crab apples perhaps, and just make something a bit more interesting that we can actually put on the front door. I love doing things like that, and they cost a lot of money. Like the size of wreath that we would need for our front door would probably be well over £100, and yet a nice cozy afternoon you can do it yourself with a little bit of know-how. Attend a bonfire festival. Now, maybe festival is too grand a word, but I love bonfire night, and that is still technically autumn, verging on Christmas season, but it is still autumn. So I want to find a really good one around here and put that in the diary. Make a mulled cider hot toddy. I think I did this last year and it's delicious, just adding lots of lovely spices in with hot apple juice. I did make it last year using the apple juice from the day in our village when everyone's invited to take bucket loads of their own apples up to the really, really old press. You might have seen this in previous vlogs, where there's basically a farmer that lives in our village who's got, I think it's a 400-year-old apple press. I'll pop a little clip on the screen here of it in action, and you take up your apples and the farmers will press them for you into apple juice. It's a really fun thing to do, especially with children, and then you come away with loads and loads of apple juice and obviously make a donation for charity. So it's a really nice thing to do, and I think making a mulled cider hot toddy would be absolutely scrumptious. And then the last one I've written, make a long-lasting flower display. We're sadly coming to the end of the season where I can head out into the garden and bring fresh flowers into the house every weekend. So I now need to think, okay, how can I dry the flowers out and make them last all throughout the autumn winter? It's not really until April or May next year that I'll be able to pick fresh from the garden again. So we need to plan out how we can have lovely floral things in the home over the colder months. Okay, all that talk of sausage rolls and cinnamon buns has got me feeling peckish, so I'm going to put together something yummy for lunch. Something else that could be added to your autumn bucket list could be to make a homemade soup from scratch. If you've never done it before, it's so easy. Whatever your favourite soup is. My favourite is probably when I roast tomatoes and courgette and peppers in the oven to get that lovely flavour, and then blitz it all together, some really good garlic and things like that. But today I wanted to do leek and potato soup, but I don't have any leeks. So plan B, we're going to do a broccoli and blue cheese soup. Now I made, and I did bang on about it, so I apologise, I made a really big lasagna in the last but one vlog that I took down to Norfolk for us all to enjoy. Lasagna is a great thing to make ahead, and especially if you're cooking for lots of people or you want to batch cook to pop something in the freezer for the rest of the week. It was so delicious, but I also love being able to sneak extra healthy ingredients into really lovely dishes, and soups are a great way to do this. So what I snuck in to the lasagna, as well as so many veggies, lentils, because we were not only cooking for ourselves, but our friends and their children. If you're a fan of sneaking veggies into your children's food, then I'm with you on that one. I have to sneak them into my own food because I can still be very fussy despite wanting to eat really well. And I put in a couple of tablespoons of my organised, and it reminded me that I should be using this more than just in my smoothies. So when I last properly spoke to you about this, I showed you putting it in my chocolate banana date and nut butter smoothie. It's amazing. But now that we're getting into the cozy cooking months, I want to try putting this into more hearty meals. It was perfect in the lasagna, and I'm also going to pop some of this in my soup. If you don't know what this is, Organised, it's basically a whole food beef, grass-fed beef organ blend. It's actually the world's first, and it's full of so much nutrients that is fantastic for your skin, for your muscles, for your overall general health. And it says rich in collagen, complete amino profile, grass-fed, pasture-raised, so really high welfare beef, but it's the mix of the 5 most nutritious organs like kidney, spleen, liver, can't remember what the other 2 are, I'll put them on the screen here, that are so good for us, but that we maybe don't typically choose or don't put in our lasagnas or in our stews, but they're so full of nutrition and goodness. This is essentially those organs ground down into a whole food supplement powder, and you can put it in so many different recipes. If you love making casseroles or stews, this is a way of making them so much heartier and so much more nutritious for all the family. In a dish like that, you wouldn't notice the flavour of this necessarily. I don't know actually, I think it adds a real richness to casseroles and stews and things like that, and especially to lasagnas or bologneses. But in a smoothie, because I'm using things like my dates and my banana, I don't really taste it. Something that I have spoken a lot about is the fact that here in the UK at least, and I'm sure in places like America as well, we are quite deficient in quite a few key nutrients, whether that's B12 or zinc or vitamin A or iron. Well, you can get all of those essential vitamins and minerals in this, and it's just the easiest way of getting them into your diet. It's literally a powder that you can sprinkle in any food. Would I do it in a sweet dish? I'm not sure. But as we are approaching cozy stew and soup season, I feel like this is going to be something that goes into every meal that I cook to make it just that little bit more nutritious and good for me. I have to say, when Charlie and I meet any of you guys, which is often at places like Daylesford, or actually even on my recent herb course that I did, it's always really interesting what you comment on, which parts of the vlogs you find maybe the most interesting or most inspiring, and probably it's relevant to where I bump into you. But often if it's at somewhere like Daylesford, a lot of the time people mention how, this sounds a bit weird saying it about yourself, but inspired you feel about the recommendations that I make for how to make easy changes to get more nutrition into your diet, and thinking more about the source and provenance of the things that you eat. Well, I wanted to recommend as well, I'll leave a link to it down below, the founder of Organised, who Charlie and I had the pleasure of meeting, having breakfast with a couple of weeks ago. They've also created an app, and I'll leave a link, in fact, I'll leave a QR code here on the screen so you can download the app. It's amazing if you are very interested in sourcing amazing quality meat, maybe raw milk, good honeys and things like that from really fantastic farms near where you live. So they've got really strict specifications for the farm to pass their approvals. So they must be regenerative, they must have incredibly high animal welfare, and there are over 4,000 farms that have been verified by the Organised team, and you can pop in your location, find out what's available near you or what you can find online. So I definitely recommend downloading that, but also I will leave a link to Organised in the description box down below. We also have a discount code, I'll leave that on the screen and in the description box down below as well, if you want to add something super nutritious and full of goodness to your autumn dishes. I'm going to gather together the ingredients for the soup, and let's see how perfectly it will work in this recipe. Broccoli and Stilton soup. Is there anything better? Okie dokie, so I thought I would show you the ingredients at this stage, because I'm basically doing a slight variation on this soup, as one of the girls is veggie and also can't have dairy. So these are the ingredients, and I've just realised I've forgotten the potatoes. There will be potatoes as well for the part one of the soup. And then I will add in my magical ingredients of a little bit of cream, my Organised, and what was the other thing? Oh, the Stilton, of course, the blue cheese at the very end, after I've taken Lizzie's portion out. So it's really easy to just tweak this if you don't want dairy or anything like that. Okay, I found the potatoes. So these are the core ingredients for my regular soup recipe. I've actually gone for some Stilton and another variety. This one is called oh, I can't read it because it's been chopped off, 𝑭𝒊𝒅, I think that's right. Just like having lots of veg in your diet is wonderful, I think having lots of cheese in your diet is also wonderful. And I guess with this as well, you're getting a huge variety of the different organ blends, and each one has different health benefits. So the more the merrier, I say. Ever since someone told me that you get more of the goodness and flavour out of a garlic if you leave it to sit for 15 minutes once it's chopped, apparently like the air with the garlic itself has some kind of reaction and makes it even more delicious and good for you. I always now start my recipes by chopping the garlic and just letting that sit while I do the next bits. Just going to carry on watching The Summer I Turned Pretty while I chop my vegetables. I've just got to the last kiss episode, so we're at a really important part. I also just watched a quick YouTube short about that whole garlic thing, and apparently it releases more phytonutrients, but you only actually have to leave it for 2 minutes. So forget about my whole 15-minute rule, that's apparently far too long. Well, not too long, but you only need 2 minutes. Anyway, Jeremiah has just opened the letter that says, "Dear Conrad," so I'm at a very crucial part. Everything is blended. Now I'm just separating out Lizzie's dairy-free version. So now I'm adding in 2 heaped tablespoons of the star ingredient to make this seriously nutritious and wonderful. And the cheese. And now one final blitz. Okay, it's a few hours later. That soup was absolutely scrumptious. It's always made even more wonderful with homemade croutons, which I have shown you how to make a million times before. I have a few new bits from Boden that I want to share with you, but seeing as it's already getting quite dark this afternoon, I'm just going to show you this one quickly now, and then I'll show you the rest of the pieces later on in the vlog. But there's one piece that I want to quickly show you now because I plan on wearing it for the rest of the afternoon, and I feel like this is going to be a piece that a lot of you are going to love. One of the things that you guys bought the most of this time last year, last autumn, was my 𝑚 shearling gilet, and yes, I did wear it so much, and I still absolutely love it. Can't wait to wear it again. This is quite a lot more affordable, a little bit thinner, but I think it's just going to be such a versatile piece. So it is a reversible gilet. So we've got the borg kind of fluffy on one side, and then, and this is why I love it so much, it's actually like a corduroy on the other side. Now I always think that things like this, they actually look nicest with the fluffy side on the outside, but then I want to have the fluffy side on my skin as well. So you can wear it this way around. It's obviously got buttons on both sides, but I think it's going to look better this way around. Now when the temperatures start to really drop and you're wearing your Barber jacket all the time, then this is a nice way of just making it look a little bit more stylish. It looks quite chic having this little bit of 𝑭𝒂𝒕 kind of showing through, but also if you're working from home, you're wearing a knitted dress like I have been doing today, this just adds that little bit of extra coziness. So couldn't wait to show you this because I know I'm going to be getting a lot of wear out of this, and it's going to be one of those things that you'll be seeing me wearing in most vlogs probably. But yeah, I did get a few other bits and bobs which I will show you tomorrow. I'm now going to head to the walking pad and probably do an hour of just blitzing laptop time while trying to catch up with Summer I Turned Pretty. There are certain jobs that I can do with TV on in the background, and easy emails are one of those. So that is my plan for the next hour or so. Okay, it's an hour or so later, time to make dinner. I also leave my Herbie teapot on the 𝑭𝒂𝒕, so it's nice and warm for when I want top-ups. Now, I've had a lot of lasagna lately, but neither Charlie nor I can be bothered to cook tonight, so we've got 𝑑𝒉𝒄𝒄 lasagnas in the 𝑭𝒂𝒕, and these are the bread bits left over from the croutons at lunchtime. So I'm basically going to do kind of garlic bread soldiers, just to use these up. It's a nice sourdough. So I'm melting some butter at the back of the 𝑭𝒂𝒕. I've chopped up some garlic, I'll add a bit of salt and of course some herbs, and that should make for some scrumptious little garlic dippers. Even though the sun has just come out for a nice bit of golden hour light, we have lit the fire just to make it ultra cozy in here this evening. I think we're gonna pop on actually the end of the latest Poirot film. We started watching that last night. It's a little bit scary, but nice for a cozy evening in. And Dickie is very relaxed. Look at your brother. This is just not normal puppy dog behavior. You're so funny. The film that we're watching, it's called The Haunting in Venice. I think it's based on an Agatha Christie. It's the latest of the Poirot films, probably a couple of years old, but neither Charlie nor I had watched it before. I must admit, it's a little bit scary. I think it's for 15, but I'm finding it quite scary, so we can't watch it just before bed. So this time of day, 6 o'clock, just before we have our dinner, is the perfect time to watch it. Someone was also telling me about, oh, it's escaped my memory. Well, anyway, I was going to ask you, anything good that you're watching on TV right now? Weirdly, I love like crime things, murder documentaries. I know that's very weird, but any recommendations, let me know what you're loving watching down below, because it's that time of year where we all need some nice cozy viewing. Not a normal animal. Good morning, my darlings. It's the next day, just gone 7 in the morning. I know I show you this view so much, but how this view looks really sets the tone for the day for me, because we're so lucky to have this incredible view over the fields as our bedroom window view, and you can really see the seasons changing so much here. Now it's all so brown because the fields have been ploughed, so we know that it's harvest season. Now I don't know if you can see, but I think there are 2 big hares in that field in the middle. I don't know if the camera will pick them up. But the sun has just risen. The golden rays going through the beautiful oak tree. It's so beautiful. What a morning. proper good morning, my darlings. I woke up feeling a little bit stressed and a bit anxious this morning, and I can't really put my finger on why that was, so I felt an urge to just get outside and spend half an hour in the garden this morning. I know that it's a very fortunate position that I'm in, that I can just do that and push the start of my day back a little bit, but it's amazing how just a little bit of time in nature can really help to just balance you out a little bit. And speaking of that, I'm also going to take a couple of my ashwagandha little capsules as well. That definitely helps too. I'm clutching a very ripe banana. Ooh. Oh, that's strange. Normally Dales would only put 50% off stickers when something's about to go out of date, but this kefir doesn't go out of date until the 26th of September. Very strange. Well, I know why it is. This is only interesting to probably 3 people in the whole universe, but they've actually got a new bottle, a new design for their kefir. So maybe they're just putting half price on the old design. That's my theory. So I'm going to make myself a quick, the pumpkin spice smoothie, which is now up on YouTube Shorts, I think. So I'll leave that link down below. And then I think I'm going to do another load of herb drying this morning. I was watching rewatching, I've probably watched it like 4 times, 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅's video, which is the 10 medicinal herbs that everyone should know about. I love that video, and he really rates thyme, as in the herb, for colds and coughs. If you've got a little bit of kind of mucusy, and if you're coming down with something, then thyme apparently really good. But I don't know how I would dry thyme, because the greenery is so small, it will surely fall through the gaps in my dehydrator. So I'm not sure about that one. Before I make my smoothie though, I've got a question to ask you guys, because most of you know a lot more about most things than I do. And that's another reason why I love sharing this kind of journey into learning more about plants with you, because there are so many knowledgeable people out there, and I just love that we chat about these things. It's amazing, and you always have amazing tips. One tip, however, that did not work is ripening my tomatoes in a brown paper bag with a ripe banana. So I've now used the banana that I had in these bags, but I put it in like this. It was this kind of level of ripeness, but my tomatoes have not changed in the slightest. They've not ripened at all. So that tip, unfortunately, I don't think it was you guys actually, I think it was, I can't remember where I heard that, maybe on another YouTube video. But my tomatoes have not ripened. Obviously I've had so many tomatoes from the garden this year, so I'm not too sad about it. But these ones I had to pull down because I needed the space for my kale cover. And they're still very green, and I would really like to use them. So any other tips? Do I just leave them out in the greenhouse? I think that's what I will try. Yeah, we'll give that a go. I'll do a little bit more Googling as well. And this morning, as you might be able to guess from the outfit of the day, I am just feeling very casual, very relaxed, having a bit of a slow morning. This is a really nice kind of weighty cardigan. It's kind of like a biscuity colour, and it's just something that I throw on when I want to be really cozy. It's not a trendy morning in this house. And then the trousers. I've just thrown these on because I wanted something, you know, I wanted the comfort and elastication that you get from leggings, and these have got an elasticated back. But there's something about the material of them. They look like cord. They're super soft, got little pockets, and you could make them smart with a waist belt if you want to, but I don't want to today. They're just really nice, kind of relaxed morning around the house trousers, or if you work from home, they're just super comfy, a little bit tapered down at the bottom. So there we go, that's the morning outfit. So I am gonna make my nice pumpkin chai smoothie with some nut butter, and then I thought I would treat myself to some pancakes. I'm just feeling like something a little bit heartier this morning, and seeing as we've got so many apples out in the garden and in the orchard opposite, I thought I would make them like an apple fritter style pancake. I've not tried it before, but I've looked at a few YouTube Shorts videos and it looks like it's quite an easy thing to do. So let's give it a try. tried this particular flavour combination before, but let's give it a go. I'm going to add in my chocolate powder, which is 𝑐𝑎𝑜 and 𝑟𝑒𝑖𝑠ℎ from Ancient and Brave, and my organised. As I mentioned, you can't really taste this, or you can't taste it at all in a smoothie, but it just makes it a million times more nutritious, and it works really well with the cacao. So this is going to be like a cacao pumpkin spice morning smoothie, which is also packed full of goodness. Okay, let's blend it up. One for today and, oops, one for tomorrow. Living life on the edge. Okay, my darlings, just enjoyed my apple cinnamon pancakes. They were very hearty and filling, and initially, I'm not gonna lie, I accidentally poured a little bit too much cinnamon into the mixture, but it was absolutely perfect. I don't believe that you can ever have too much cinnamon. So I've just been shooting a couple of photos for an Instagram post that I'm doing for Monica Vinader, and although they've not asked me to tell you this on YouTube, I'm gonna tell you anyway because it's a really cool thing. So they've basically launched a bag charm. It's their first ever bag charm, and I believe there are a few different colours, but obviously I've gone for the chocolate brown. It's this little suede tie, and then a very classic gold Monica Vinader charm. And you will be able to get this as a gift with purchase from September the 25th. So there's a little bit of time until it goes live, but it's so cute. I'll pop some of the imagery that we shot on the screen here, styling it on a bag, styled it on my 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, on your house keys, on your car keys, or even if you can bear to have everything dangling down. I actually think it looks really cool. I popped on my brown phone case, connected in with your phone charms if you're a fan of accessorizing your phone like I am. So I thought I'd just mention that. That's why I've suddenly got tons of jewellery on. Popped on all of my Monica Vinader favourites, and I mentioned at the end of the Norfolk vlog that our discount code for them has now changed. It's now 𝑗osieMV. Josie Monica Vinader, 𝑗osieMV, and it usually will get you around 20% off, which is amazing. So there we go. I've popped in my Monica Vinader earrings to shoot the content. These are my favourites at the moment. You've got the brown on one side, gold on the other. I just think they're the perfect hoop for autumn. And this necklace is also Monica Vinader with a little brown heart. So pretty. Anyway, so I wanted to share with you, as I mentioned yesterday, a few more Boden bits, and this dress that I popped on to shoot the Monica Vinader things outside is one of the new things from my Boden order. This is like a brown corduroy material, so it's nice and warm, especially if you wear it with a cardigan, but I was thinking about workwear outfits in particular. It's very smart, very kind of structured silhouette. little pockets and a vent at the front, so you have perfect movement, which is great because often these stiffer materials like a corduroy can be a little bit restrictive, but they have thought about that and the silhouette is perfect. I think styled with the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, that looks absolutely gorgeous for a slightly smarter look. And as I mentioned, got little pockets. The colour is so lovely, this dark brown, and it's got this nice detail which slightly cinches you in around the waist, giving it a very flattering silhouette and a very elegant length. I just think it's gorgeous and super versatile, so I'll leave this linked down below. I just feel like everything that Boden are bringing out at the moment is so gorgeous. This next piece very much included. It's, I think I got my normal size, so it is naturally that little bit oversized, but how gorgeous are the details on this jumper. First of all, I call this a pie crust collar. And we've also got pie crust detail on the sleeves, this cute little ruffle, and then this lovely embroidery. It reminds me a bit of echinacea, and it's just a really nice thick embroidery. So it looks as though it's almost a little bit handmade. I've styled it with my jeans, which sometimes I think I like, and sometimes I think I'm just really naturally not a jeans person. So I'm trying to think of other ways that I would style this knit. But also, I have got on, I'll show you full length first, but you can't see anyway, but I've got on a new pair of shoes that you will be very familiar with from 𝑭𝒊𝒅. You'll have seen a couple of weeks ago I went to their store launch in London and I got to see these up close and personal, and the team very kindly sent them over, and it's the Regina shoe, which I have in the kind of more ambery mapley colour. And I love them so much. I had been lusting over the dark chocolate version for a very long time, and now I have them, and they're perfect with cropped jeans because the sock, and it's stretchy, so it's literally like wearing socks, goes just above the ankle so you don't see the top of the boot. They've got a really, I wouldn't say grippy, but it's a very non-slippy sole. It kind of annoys me when so many boots have almost like a leather or shiny sole and then you just slip around, whereas these are very, like, it's rubbery, so you're not going to slide around anywhere. Super comfortable, and they're also waterproof, so you can wear them in the snow. Literally, I wore my other ones in the snow and they come out perfectly fine. So on those rainy, stormy, torrential days in London, these, my old pair, or my other pair in the maple colour, that's what I've been wearing. But yeah, what do we think to this? I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I can feel that I need my afternoon coffee pick-me-up, so I'm just going to go and make myself coffee, and then I will show you the other bits from Boden. I did faceplant my camera in the mud this morning, so if there is a little bit of speckle on the screen, and has been this morning in the vlog, I do apologise. I've decided I'm going to quickly whiz together a batch of granola because I noticed... Oh, thank you, Jane. Thank you very much.
It's
oh my gosh, it looks like a little ghost!
Well, I tried to do a heart I used to be able to do, and I can't really do it anymore.
Oh yeah,
well, I can't really do it anymore, but...
Party ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
not bad,
Halloween,
It
Halloween
looks
version.
like, actually that looks like a dog, look.
Yeah?
So the eye, and then, can you not see it?
Yeah. And then if we do like a little ear.
Tegan's just done a dog.
This is the ear look. Here we go, look! Oh my god, that's so good!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it really does!
Tegan was a barista.
That was my idea. I didn't actually.
Except in Harry Potter, isn't it? The grim.
Sorry.
And then she drops the cup.
Do
You know?
I need to get
Oh,
the
yeah.
description? Because I cannot see
Jake,
it.
It is like a
Clearly the
corgi.
ear, this is
Yeah.
the eye, that's even got like a little whisker.
Come on, Jake. Everyone else can see it.
Come
My
on,
great
Jake.
coffee. My great coffee.
I don't know what dog you
I'm
looking
impressed.
at.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome. I hope it's okay.
Thank you. I thought I would put together a batch of my granola, but seeing as I love to make everything as seasonal as possible, and we have got a few cans of pumpkin puree, I'm going to experiment and I'm going to try making a pumpkin spice granola. So I'm just going to add in essentially my normal granola recipe, but with a tablespoon of pumpkin puree and of course my little shaker of pumpkin pie spice. I think that'll be absolutely delicious, and of course really autumnal flavours like maple syrup, pecans, a couple of hazelnuts and oats as well, obviously cinnamon, and I'm going to use coconut oil as the base. I think that should be absolutely delicious, and I love nothing more than homemade granola with yogurt in the evenings, and we're all out, so let's do it. I think what I'll actually start by doing is putting my coconut oil and my pumpkin and my maple syrup in a saucepan and just mixing it together over a little bit of heat. I think that'll be the best way to get it nice and mixed together and melted so that it'll evenly coat my dry ingredients, which I'll mix together in this bowl. Okay, the granola is in the 𝑭𝒂𝒕. It's only going to be about 25 minutes, but I'll quickly show you a few more Boden bits in that time. That was a very spur-of-the-moment decision, and I've realised I've shown you so many baking things in this vlog. I hope you don't mind. But I thought I'd also just style the gelée that I showed you yesterday, because I think this is also going to be so nice over jumpers when you want an extra cozy layering piece. Obviously this knit has got a pattern on it, so maybe not the ideal combo, but it gives the idea. I just love it. I can already tell this is going to be the piece that I wear so much this autumn season. The lenses are so stuck with all the mud, but I don't think it's altering the picture, but to me it's like this with the lenses half closed. This is the next piece. It's one of their really cute little patterned cardigans, and I remember seeing Laura from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 wearing something similar to this last year, and I just thought she looked so cute in all the pictures. So the pattern, we've got apples, we've got blackberries, what would we say that is? Cherries. Basically all of the seasonal fruits that you can forage right now. Are berries a fruit? I'm actually not too sure. Maybe they're their own category. But again, just tucked into jeans. Imagine a barber thrown over your shoulders. I think this is absolutely adorable. And Boden knitwear, the quality is so nice. I've washed many of my Boden jumpers a million times and they still look absolutely perfect. Really soft, never itchy, and they just fit really nicely. I feel like their price point versus their quality is absolutely spot on. And then speaking of really classic things for an autumn wardrobe, this is just simply a very, very chunky cable knit zip-up cardigan. I think it's going to be the kind of thing that I just leave on a hook behind the door for dashing into the garden, popping on the back of the chair, you know, and you just need an extra layer if you've been wearing something a bit lighter in the day and then that evening chill comes about. I think this is going to be perfect for that. I love the mega chunkiness of the design. It's a super thick weave, and the fact that it's zip up just makes it so much quicker and easier to put on if you're dashing out the house to run some errands, walk the dog or anything like that. It's also cropped, so it's not too big and overpowering, and I do imagine I'll probably end up throwing this on over the top of my Pilates outfit as well. I do like to style the entire look when I'm heading there. But yeah, really nice neutral colour. Again, very soft and cozy. It feels really nice quality. It's another beautiful cozy piece for an autumn wardrobe. It has suddenly gone very dark outside, so I apologise if the lighting is a little bit different, but the final piece is actually this amazing green shirt. Again, it's kind of corduroy material. That seems to be very much on trend in Boden this year. It's a shirt. You've got really nice little trim detail around the cuffs and along the middle buttons here. I thought it looked so nice with the gilet, but I'll show you how lovely it is without as well. I think tucked into a pair of jeans. It's a really nice countryside outfit, but you could also perhaps tailor this with a high-waisted skirt. That would look really nice. You could wear it open, just over the shoulders. It's a really beautiful colour, nice thickness, especially if you are a fan of wearing slightly smarter pieces like this, then it's a nice way of making it just that little bit more autumnal. So I think my granola is just about ready to come out of the 𝑭𝒂𝒕, so I'm going to pop the jumper back on because it has gone a little bit chilly, and let's give it a taste test and see how my first attempt at a pumpkin spice granola has turned out. Okay, the pumpkin granola is out of the agar and it is delicious. I couldn't resist a couple of little nibbles, and I think we're going to do a nice kind of veggie curry for dinner. I'm going to take my makeup off now before I get too tired. I feel like I need a little bit of a pamper. I'm going to put some really hydrating serums on, especially my eye area. I feel like it looks very tired at the moment, probably because I keep randomly waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so my sleep has not been great lately. I think I mentioned this morning I woke up just feeling a bit anxious, and I don't know why. So I am going to catch up on the penultimate episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty. The final comes out tomorrow, and we've got like a local girls get together to watch the final, so I need obviously to be up to date. So yeah, that is my evening sorted. I will show you a couple of bits of the curry and the final shot of the pumpkin granola, but I think I will round off the vlog here. So it's been a lot of baking, it's been a lot of at-home stuff. I promise the next vlog don't think we'll be at home at all, so a little bit of everything. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.